All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to MMADraft.com. I'm Frank Trigg here in the Las Vegas studios at Sid City, and that is Jared Platt. Right now is in San Diego. It threw me off. I thought he was going to be at the AMA Fighting Center in New Jersey, but he's down there hanging out with Phil, Mr. Wonderful, down in San Diego. I'm kind of confused. Why do you want to hang out with Phil?
You know what? People ask me that more than you could imagine. Every time his name comes up, they say, you're not really friends with that guy. But, yeah, no, I'm out here, helping him get ready for his upcoming fight, April 27th in Newark, New Jersey. And, of course, great training out here, so it's always good to sharpen up, come out, get beat up a little bit by these West Coasters.
Let's get the people at home at MMA Draft that don't know anything about you. D1 wrestler, full scholarship, Greco and freestyle champ, Pan American champ, and then you also won the no-gi worlds as well, correct?
Yes.
What weight was that at?
That was at I think it's heavyweight. It was like I don't know. It's different from wrestling, man. It's like middleweight, middleweight, or some. It's some weight. So at some weight.
Who you beat in the finals?
I don't know.
Yeah. See. No. It sounds like he's being preposterous. It sounds like he's like being cocky. But this is what happens in wrestling. We wrestle 1,200 matches from the time we're about 6 to the time we graduate college. Do you remember every single guy? Do you remember this guy? Do you remember no, I don't remember every match. I have no idea who I wrestled half the time. Then you can put me in a no-gi match? I have no clue who this guy is. I got no idea.
Seriously.
Did you win by points or did you submit him?
I won by points. I think it was a wrestler, actually. The guy, apparently he was like a D3 guy or something like that. So he went out and he was trying to play takedown. So that made things easy.
Yeah, made it for an easy victory. So the semifinals was worse then. The semifinals was a harder match?
The semifinals was a big half guard guy. He was playing that half guard, deep half guard sweep stuff. So it was that's a little different to deal with, especially for an inflexible guy like me. But get it done how you can.
So right now, Jared, you're out there training Phil Davis, who's getting ready to fight Vinny Malis on in UFC coming up here pretty soon. You know more as a trainer, but aren't you getting ready to fight yourself here pretty soon?
Yes, April 4th, I'm slotted to fight in Bellator down in Atlantic City at the Revel Casino. But I'm still waiting for an opponent. Actually, this has been a process actually. I was slotted to fight in Cage Fury Fighting Championships in November, but then, the Hurricane Sandy came, washed out a lot of stuff down there, I had a lot of family. It was, pretty crazy. It's still crazy, man. But, so that washed that fight, and that took me, about 7 or 8 opponents to find somebody that would stick. And then, of course, that got washed, and then now it's, still working on getting an opponent. So hopefully we can get one locked in so I can, not that that's going to change much. Still gonna go out there and do what I do anyway, but it's I'd like to know who it is at some point. Some point
before April 4th, you want to know who you're gonna be battling against.
Right? Yeah. Even if it's at the weigh-in, they could walk right in. That's fine.
Perfect. See, I like that. I like that old school wrestling mentality. We're kind of like, nothing against Josh Koscheck and Fitch, but they're like, look, we're never gonna fight against each other because we're teammates up there at AKA. And I've never been that guy. I'm like, I've had to wrestle my best friend in the semifinals to make the finals of the tournament. It's just how it goes. You still kind of have that same mentality. You'll pretty much, if you got to, you'll fight Phil, if that's what it is.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm actually one of the few fighters he's knocked down to the middleweight division. I was first started at thinking I was going to be a 205er, and I used to weigh about 220, 215, 220, but I started training a lot of jiu-jitsu. That's when I, went out and competed in Long Beach for the IBJJF Nogi Worlds. So I lost some size, wasn't lifting as much. And then I thought, I'd be a pretty decent-sized middleweight. So I tried making the cut, did some tests, worked with some people. Diet is really important to me as it is because I'm type 1 diabetic.
Oh.
So, yeah, so I'm real tough with my diet. And, with just hard work and some real clean, high vegetable, high fruit diet, I got my weight off no problem. So 185 was real easy for me to make.
Now type 1 is not insulin based, right? Type 2.
Type 1 is insulin based.
Okay.
Type 2 is
not.
You can control it with diet, exercise, and sometimes pills.
So weight cutting and dieting and all that stuff can really mess your body up. That's going to shut your kidneys down. You can have a lot of serious problems. What do you do to counteract that?
I've been going through this my whole life. I've been wrestling at a pretty high level since I was pretty young. And so I've really gotten to know all of the best tricks and methods. I don't want to say tricks because it's past that. It's tricks when you're a kid, tricks for kids.
Silly
but
rabbit.
yeah, silly rabbit, right? But you know, you get smarter, you learn things, and so now I've got a pretty efficient method. I work with a lot of different people for my diet. You know, but throughout my life, it's been a big issue. So I'm pretty good about it. Just lean out. You know, take that full 8-week camp to lean my body out and get really hydrated. You know, I like to water load, and of course, raw fruits and vegetables will keep you really hydrated. And so the cut's really easy. You've got high energy. I've got a pretty good method I use.
Are you a Dolce diet guy? Are you a
No, I'm on the J
diet
Platt
guy?
method.
Say again?
I'm on the J Platt method.
Oh, okay. Do you want to
Yeah.
share a little bit? You want, besides eating a bunch of fruit and vegetables, is there anything
You know,
else that's part of that J Platt method?
That's really a lot of it. I like to start out the first 2 to 4 weeks. I'll do like a cleanse or a flush where I'm only eating raw fruits and vegetables. And you know, for the first week it's kind of rough, but you adjust back into it. There's no caloric limit on it, so I eat as much as I want. If I'm hungry, I eat. You know, I never deprive myself of food. And then towards the end of camp, I like to get a little bit of raw fish, stuff like that, salmon, tuna, that kind of stuff. So I'm still getting some protein, of course, beans, all that kind of stuff. But it's basically all raw fruits and vegetables.
Wow, that's amazing. I haven't heard anybody at that high a level of competition, whether it's wrestling, gi, no gi, or MMA, that has type 1 diabetes. So you're the first one. And to me, that's interesting because you basically eat because you have to eat that way so you're able to compete, but you eat the way that every fighter should eat, but they won't eat that way because they want to find some other way to kind of make weight. And it's just really, at the end of the day, it's up your fruit and vegetable intake, and you'll be fine.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, that's what I always tell my wrestlers, because I coach at Blair Academy too. So you're never going to miss weight for overeating fruits and vegetables. You know, that's not going to be it. On the way to the Ironman, on the way to the Beast of the East, on the way to the Powerade, I always have raw peppers, celery, all kinds of stuff for the kids to, snack on, munch on. So not only are they getting good nutrients, they're also keeping hydrated because, it's a problem in high school wrestling, dehydration. It's a problem in college wrestling. It's a problem everywhere.
It's a problem that we had, Gray Maynard, went over to the Gatorade Hydration Center up in, I think it was in, not Oregon, but it's like some weird place, like South Dakota or something.
Right.
He went up and he came back.
Where it's hot and everybody's always dehydrated.
And he's like, I've been dehydrated for 12 years. Like, I've just been walking around dehydrated. Like, I couldn't believe it. Like, this is a guy that pounds a gallon of water every day. He's like, it's not enough. Like, I have to do more water. I have to get more stuff. It's amazing.
Yeah, I usually, towards, the last week or two of my camp, I'm drinking 2.5 gallons of water a day. Jeez. Yeah.
That's a lot of potty time.
Yeah, it's a lot of potty time, but you know what? I find that mental toughness really helps in that.
Yeah. You gotta, you're driving, you look at your watch, you're like, I gotta hurry up and get to the house. I really have to go to the bathroom.
You strategically plan your trips and your stops around the bathroom when you're drinking that much water.
That makes sense.
Oh yeah.
All right, Jared. Thanks for coming on here at MMADraft.com. Good luck April 4th against that crazy opponent, TBA. He's taken out a lot of guys. That guy. He's. I think he's. To be honest with you, I think he's 150 and 150. It's kind of weird. Like he's got a 500 record. But
he's up and down.
He always makes weight, and the silhouette's kind of weird. There's always a black silhouette. I've never seen a color photo of him. But you never see any white silhouettes. Yeah, you're right. You
never see any white silhouettes. What's up with that?
I don't know, man. You got to talk to TBA. I don't understand why he doesn't put out the white version of himself. All right, Jared. Thanks for coming on. You have a good rest of the day.
Man,
we'll talk to you soon,
Thanks,
bud.
You too, man.